And just start to land into the seat. This is the pose of the hero. We very often open class with this posture. It is a great way to start to organize all the information. And one great gift of the Katonah practice and the theory is that it allows us to organize all the information that exists in the world, right? Like in the human life, in the human experience, there are all of these bits and pieces of things. There are our feelings, there's whatever we learned at school, there's what our dreams, there's our memories, there's all of these things. And then there are all of these spiritual practices, right? There's all of the yoga, the lineages of yoga, all of spirituality. There's all of the religions that came before us, right? And up until now, very, very powerful in the human experience. So what Naveen Mishan did, which she's the founder of Katonah Yoga. She's one of my teachers. She's an amazing human being. If you want to look her up on YouTube, you can see her. You can get a sense of who she is. So she studied all of these esoteric practices for years, and then she distilled them into a system around the body, right? So Katonah Yoga is not really a style of yoga that is different from another style of yoga or contrary, or you know what I mean? It's not like a new style of yoga that is a complete other system and all of that. No, it's more of a layer, right? It's more of a theory and a set of practices that you can lay on top of any other style of yoga or any other style of physical movement, right? You can use the Katonah theory on top of wrestling, or in the way that you organize your day, in the way that you organize your month, right? So it's very, very, very practical. The universe is based on numbers and shapes, geometrical shapes and numbers, which are universal languages. There's no cultural specificity for numbers, right? It's not like, oh, only in the West we use numbers and in the East we use something else. It's all over the planet, right? It's everywhere. Everyone knows that 2 is 2 things, right? Even animals know numbers, right? So numbers, it's really the backbone of how the universe is created. So the premise behind the practice is to use that, right? Is to use the numbers and to use the maps to know how we are created ourselves. Because as you know, as you have heard, the micro universe, which is the body, is a reflection of the macro universe, which is the cosmos, but all of it, because everything is a fractal, right? So everything exists within everything else. Just like a drop of water, it contains the code of the whole ocean inside of it, right? So without talking I can talk for hours about this, but let me start just showing you something. Now we can see the squares, right? So you can divide anything in bottom, middle, top, right, middle, left, right? And then you can start to place numbers inside of them. So the magic square is based on a very ancient divinity tool from China, right? It's called the Lo Shu. It's used in fengshui a lot, right? And it is really a grid that organizes the number from 1 to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is in the center, and then 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then this specific way of organization of these numbers makes it magical because every row and every diagonal, every column adds up to 15. Right? So 294 is 15, 654 is 15, 816 is 15, 373. So everything equals to 15, which makes it that you can only put the numbers in this order. If you change one number, it will not work anymore, right? So the thing here is that if you remove 5 from the center, right, every diagonal and every opposing number from the pole adds up to 10, right? So 4 and 6 equal 10, 2 and 8 equal 10, 7 and 3 equal 10, 9 and 1 equal 10. So 10 is the number of polarity, right? So every polarity equals to 10. And then whenever you place 5 in the center, you're turning everything into 15. So as soon as 5 places itself in the middle of the square, it turns all the polarities into a trinity, right? Because now 5 is mediating the polarity between 7 and 3. 5 is mediating the polarity between 9 and 1. 5 is mediating the polarity between 6 and 4 and 2 and 8, right? So if you've taken class with me, you might very often hear me say, you are 5, right? You are number 5. Your consciousness is 5 because you are always mediating all of the polarities inside of the world. So now how to take this and make it a little bit more practical, like, okay, these are great, it's number, it's mathematics, right? Feel like I'm at school, but also there's this little element of Harry Potter or like magical school, right? It's really cute because it has this beautiful like it adds up, right? It adds up and it fits, and then it makes people happy, right? If I'm telling you sometimes it adds to 15, but sometimes it adds to 17, you're like, okay, I don't want this. You know what I mean? So because it's fitting, it makes it very, very likable and lovable, right? So if you see now, so 1, right, the number 1 is really the root. It is dropping down. It is really around the perineum. In the body, it's around the perineum. It is really the root that connects you down to the planet. Because it's 1, it just landed. It's the very first thing. 2, number 2, it's up on the right side. So if you see it here on the screen, you're seeing it on your left, right? But actually, it's as if you're looking at a map. So you have to imagine yourself in the screen looking out. So what you're seeing here, the eye on the left, it is really your right eye, okay? And 3, it is your heart. It is the left hand. It is everything on the left side. 4, it's right above it. So it is the left eye, right? The left side of the brain. 5 is the center of the chest. And then 6 is the right foot, the right leg. 7 is the right armpit, the right arm, so the liver on the right side. And then 8 is the left foot with the left leg. And then 9 is the third eye. And then 10 is the whole thing, the whole body together. So all of these beautiful maps are have been designed by Naveen Mishan herself, right? She's such a creative person, a poet, amazing human being, and they are illustrated by one of her students, an amazing person as well, called Susan Fierro. And you can see all of these maps. Everything is open source. It's not like, oh, you have to pay to get the Katonah material, or you have to pay to get this, it's trademarked. No. Everything is open source because the world is open source, right? So she really adapted the practice of yoga to this time that we're living in. So you can see all of these stuff on her website, the KatonahYogaCenter.com, KatonahYoga.com. Some of them are on my website. On any website of a Katonah teacher, you will see them, right? The information is really free to distribute. The only thing is, like, when you use it, just say that this is her, you know what I mean? Like the attribution, and that's it, you know? So from here, that's how it looks, right? So you have the magic square, and then you have to think that the magic square is this flat map, right? These numbers. But then because it's a body, the body is 3-dimensional. So you can start to think that the body is not only a magic square, but a magic cube, right? Remember that everything is a fractal of everything else. So you have a magic square in the front of your body, you have a magic square in the back, you have a magic square on your right, on your left, at the bottoms of your feet, on the crown of your head, right? You're a series of all of these numbers. They're microscopic, like very, very small. You can't really see them. But if you'd like to start to organize yourself, this is one great way of doing it because it fits and it makes sense, and it's really, really ancient. Any question about this so far?